560 mobile app and your Alexa-powered smart speaker on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
It is 6:36. Let's go into the Team Hochberg Traffic Center and get the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Well, the inbound Eisenhower Expressway ramp to the outbound Kennedy is now blocked till mid-October for construction at the Burn Circle, and we have problems with the alternate right now. The alternate is to take the outbound Ryan to turn around at Taylor, but there's a stall there. Semis can barely make the turn. Traffic is jammed heading from the outbound Ryan to outbound Taylor, and the next alternate 18th. That has big delays as well, so consider a different alternate. The inbound Ike itself is just a little bit heavy approaching the circle. Inbound Stevenson delays are central to Kedzie and Ashland to the Ryan. 33 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Inbound Ryan, it's about a 2-minute delay, Roosevelt to the circle. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunshine this morning, clouds, breezy the afternoon, and a shower in spots, high 76. Tonight, 54. Tomorrow, cooler, plenty of sunshine, high 68. Tomorrow night, 54. Sunday, beautiful for many churches going to outside worship on Sunday. Pleasant, high 72. 63 right now. Next news coming up at 7. Breaking news as it happens. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Some of the natives in Illinois are getting restless. Our friend of the show, Keith Pekow, the mayor of Orland Park, he posted another video this week highlighting the absurdities that persist with Governor Spalding's shutdown orders.
For months, we were told it was safe to go to warehouse stores, grocery stores, approved department stores, and hardware stores. However, you could catch COVID if you went to disapproved department stores or bridal boutiques or game stores. Where was the data that supports this? A group of ladies in 2 groups on a patio at a restaurant asked me about this the other day. I told them that according to the governor, you are allowed to sit at a table in a group of 10 people, indoors or outdoors. You can talk and socialize. However, if you want to eat or drink, it becomes dangerous. If you are inside, you must move outside. But when you go outside, you must separate 4 people from the group because groups bigger than 6 are dangerous if you're eating or drinking. Whatever you do, don't go inside and eat or drink. COVID is lurking.
Yeah, right, groups of 6. And so this happened at a club, a friend of mine who's got 5 kids.
Yeah.
That's 7.
Right.
You can only have 6 at a table. I'm not kidding.
Well, no,
You had to make 2 reservations.
Are you serious?
Was you gonna have like little Johnny sit over at another table? And it's not the club's fault because they're just abiding the orders because lest some Cook County commissar come in and whack them.
We were at a restaurant too. I don't want to say which one, and we had 8 people, and we've been commingling, this whole time. And they had sense about them to say, you know what, we'll keep you all together. But if somebody comes in from the health department or someone, 3 of you have to leave immediately. It's so ridiculous. But you can stand outside with groups of 10 or less and not sit down at a restaurant table. It's just so arbitrary.
Other than Keith Pekow in Orland Park, it's remarkable how few, and a couple of others, downstate mayor we talked to a couple weeks ago from East Peoria, right? It's remarkable how weak local officials have been, how unwilling they've been to point out the obvious hypocrisy, the obvious arbitrariness of the rules in each of these phases. The hypocrisy just builds as you go from one phase to the other, not to mention what we've seen in terms of the characterization of those on the streets protesting one issue versus those on the streets protesting another issue. If the media deems this protest righteous, COVID doesn't matter. If it deems the protest not righteous, then COVID does matter.
And we're killing grandma. And then Governor Pritzker too, again, going to these marches where there's almost 1,000 people there, shoulder to shoulder, yeah, he's wearing a mask, but hey, whatever happened to the 10 or less? And nobody asks him that in the mainstream media. Not one pool reporter question focused on that hypocrisy.
Yeah, but well, that's the media's fault, right? And but there's some fault here too, with docile local officials and, frankly, business owners, business community, starting in Chicago, just happy to be rolled over.
Yeah.
Or at least not willing to do anything about it.
Yes, sir.
Not willing to stand up for themselves, for their families, for their businesses. It is really remarkable in a completely despondent way. But there are some. One of them is the owner and operator of St.Giuseppe's Heavenly Pizza in East Moline, Illinois. You know, when you get outside Chicago, there is a lot of people who still possess common sense in this state. The owner of St. Giuseppe's Heavenly Pizza in East Moline is Joe Schilling, and he joins us now. Joe, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
How you doing?
Good. And Joe Schilling, this is from the Schilling family, like former Congressman Bobby Schilling, right?
That's right.
Speaking of, you guys as a family couldn't go anywhere because there's like 42 of you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just dined in for the first time in Iowa because we live on the border of Illinois and Iowa. We just dined in somewhere as a family, the whole family, you know, and it was great. It was wonderful. It's just how it should be. So.
Well, it's a great family. Your dad's a great guy. He was a good congressman, and it's been a pleasure to get to know your family over the years. But so tell us what's happening in East Moline, what you're doing with St. Giuseppe's, as well as some of the other businesses in the business community there to press back against some of the capriciousness of the orders in Illinois.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, when first off, I'm young. You know, I don't know. I have so much background behind all this, but I'll just get to the point. Is like, first off, we're not wearing masks. You know, I just find that absolutely ridiculous, you know, that bottom line. And it's kind of, and I've made a point. My Uncle Rick came into the restaurant a few weeks ago, and we sat down and shared a pizza together and drank some beers. And you know, in the middle of it, I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be. You know, and I, you know, took a rant to social media, whatever, you know, and just took a picture of us enjoying a pizza. I go, this is how it's supposed to be, you know, and made it clear that we need to get things open back up. And I got a lot of hate for it. And I got a lot of, I've had anything from hate to death threats, all sorts of crazy things.
Death threats over that?
Oh, yeah, because he's endangering people's lives.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny. A good friend of mine called me the mud monster the other day. People throwing mud at me, and I'm just getting bigger and stronger. And they don't realize that. They don't know what's happening when they. Like I said, I'm 26 years old, you know, and I'm not going to back down, you know, to the mob. That's what this is. These people, it's the mob, you know, and then they call City Hall. And they get City Hall to send police officers in here. And now they've got me running for mayor, like, of East Moline. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tolerate infringement on, you know, what people have literally died for, you know, like our American freedoms. I'm sorry, but there is not a single disease or virus in the world that could, you know, keep me. I lost a good friend of mine, Brandon Gang, you know, at the beginning of all this. He was diabetic. He had a diabetic attack, 26 years old. He died, you know, not from COVID, but from a tragedy. And I couldn't even go to his funeral. You know what I mean? I'm fired up, you know, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's important, you know, if I were to die tomorrow, I want to make sure I'm able to dine in at my favorite restaurant, you know, like before that, you know, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that could say that too. But yeah, we're not backing down. You know, we're social distancing, you so call it, you know, to stay in compliance. But you know, when masks were mandatory, we didn't wear them once, and I'm proud to say that we didn't wear masks one time, and nobody got COVID. You know,
I also understand. I like the moxie. I'm not surprised since you're a Schilling, but I also note that your establishment is zigging when others are zagging, you're supposed to not serve police at all, much less give them free pizzas.
Oh yeah,
And you're doing the opposite.
Yeah, let me tell you, like, we live in a community where, anytime I've ever had to call the police, they're there. Anytime I've been pulled over, I've never had an issue. Any ticket I've gotten, it's well deserved. And here I see a group of people being targeted, hated, horrible things said. No good cops but dead cops. Comments like that, like. These are human beings, and, they have a job just like anybody else. And, we got a problem in this country. There's situations of police brutality and all that, and those things need to be addressed right away. And these people need to be punished to the furthest extent of the law. But here in my community, police are good people, and we don't have that problem, but yet they're facing hate for it, and I'm going to feed them for it, so.
So do you have outdoor seating right now that's available?
Oh, no, actually, this is the beautiful part about being smart,
Okay.
like myself.
Yeah. Tell us what it's like to be smart,
yeah,
Joe.
I want to know.
Yeah. So, when this first all started, dining room is about 40% of our business. And I've always said it, dining room's 40% of the business, 60% of the work. We're a pizza place. We do a lot of takeout and a lot of catering. And we've decided that we are never going to do dining room ever again, at least in the state of Illinois. I have a huge dining room. We're going to put another oven out there. We're going to put more refrigeration, more coolers out there. We're going to turn into a pizza factory. I'm doing these pizza packs. I'm sure you've seen other pizza places doing them, but where the customers can get the dough, the cheese, all that. And I actually bought the domain name for pizzapack.com, and we're going to build that into something where you can order your pizza pack and have it shipped to you across the country or whatever. So, yeah, once again, I'm the mud monster. They try to shut down something. I say, okay, I'll just do something better that you're going to have a harder time, shutting down.
Have any other local businesses joined you or, just defied these draconian measures and lockdowns?
There's been a few guys, people I actually need to meet. Yeah, there's a gym, some guy, he got a cease and desist just like I did, for not wearing masks, and he ripped it up. I ripped mine up on Facebook Live, things like that. There definitely needs to be, I'm in contact with a few people right now that I still need to call back. People are wanting to, get businesses opened up without the governor saying so, because, and that's what we're lacking right now. You said it best earlier about local officials. These local officials are supposed to be saying, hey, we're not in Chicago, and we don't need to operate like we're in Chicago. Iowa is 7 minutes away from me, and they're full open right now. And we definitely need some people to stand up, and that's why I'm standing up. I have people thanking me for opening my mouth because they were scared to do so. And now other people are opening their mouths. And it's a beautiful thing that's happening. My biggest thing is, at the end of the day, I want to be able to live my life how I want. And I think other people should have that opportunity too. And I think a lot more people are taking a stand now. This wouldn't be the first time that we've stood up. They tried passing a 2% dine-in tax where customers would have to pay 2% more here in our town. And they didn't even talk about it. They just sent us a notice telling us to apply this tax to dine-in customers. And I went on Facebook Live. I ripped that thing up. I said, no, we're not doing that. And we got it shot down, and that's why we're facing so much pushback, from the mayor and city hall and all that. Is I feel like they still have a grudge against me for that, but oh well.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's great that you're providing that pushback and the leadership, and you're speaking up for those who are too afraid to speak out. I'm also glad that you're turning the dining room into a pizza factory rather than putting like a quarter pipe in there, because I understand you're a skateboarder too, and it's time for you to grow up.
No, Justin could skate.
Yeah.
Go thrashing.
Yeah, exactly. All right. All right, Joe. Congratulations on everything you're doing in East Moline. I don't know why you don't just abdicate to Iowa. That's probably what I do, but good for you for staying and fighting. And good luck with the business and keep up the fight. We appreciate your time and send our regards to your